What's up, everyone? Scott here from Chernobyl Studios, and I have my good buddy Kristian Kohle, who, man, it's been a long time since we've chatted. At least more than a year, I'm pretty sure. So, dude, the hell's going on? What are you up to? You mixing anything? What's up?
There's a lot going on. First of all, I'm really happy to be back on this channel. Hello, Scott. Good to be back in Chernobyl. I think yesterday was the... Yesterday,
26th.
It was, what was it, 35 years or 30 years?
30 years. April 26th.
April 26th, yeah.
35 years, yeah. Yeah, time flies.
I remember that I was in school already when this happened, and we were not allowed to, like in the breaks, we were not allowed to go outside and play with the sand. So that's how I remember Chernobyl. I was really pissed.
Yeah.
I was really pissed off. I think we had to stay. We had to stay inside or something for 2 weeks, something like that. But what was your question? I'm sorry.
What are you mixing these days? Any projects that you can tell us about?
What am I mixing? Yeah, let me see. What can I talk about? I'm mixing 2 records right now. One record is the upcoming Aborted record.
Oh, so you are going to do the next record. Awesome. But obviously you didn't record it because they couldn't come to the studio.
They couldn't. We tried to get Sven here because he's pretty close in Belgium, but it turned out it was impossible. First we thought we could bring the European guys here, Stefano from Italy and Sven from Belgium. And yeah, but it was impossible this winter. So they all recorded somewhere else, but I was in touch with them, and I'm mixing the record, and that's all I can say for now. So I'm doing that.
Fair enough. That's fair.
And I'm also working with a very different project, a band called Grail Knights, and they're some kind of
Grail Knights.
You know them?
No, it sounds very interesting though.
They're funny. They're actually pretty big in Germany. They are like a funny superhero, Masters of the Universe.
Okay. Okay.
Over the top hard rock kind of band. So that's a good contrast to Aborted.
Yeah, I would imagine. So it would just be like the Man-O-War of hard rock.
So that's what I'm doing. But yeah, I'm also doing a lot of other stuff. You know, on YouTube and. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I want to ask you stuff about that later on, but I don't know if you guys have noticed this. I got 3 pedals over here. They're all Klirrton pedals. So the first thing I want to ask is how did the relationship with Klirrton begin? Because I remember asking you, this was way before the Grindstein. I remember seeing this Lichtbringer pedal, and you were like, "Oh, that's Klirrton." So how did you actually guys get started with a relationship, and how did you find them, or what happened there?
I found him, like Carsten from Klirrton, through a mutual friend who is the boss of Supreme Chaos Records, like a German record label for underground, especially death metal, black metal. A great guy, Robbie, and yeah, he brought us together. He called me and said, I have this guy doing pedals, or he knew that I had this dream about, you know, creating my own pedal or maybe creating my own amp, but I'm way too stupid, you know, technically to. I have a good pair of ears, but that's all. So I cannot even solder a cable, you know. My colleague Kai has to do that for me, and yeah, so I met Carsten, and he was actually, of course, the guy who could do all the technical work, but he was looking for some inspiration, I guess, and I had some cool ideas. And that's how we came together. And the first idea was to create this new kind of HM2 pedal with 2 channels, blendable channels, you know, that turned out to become the Grindstein. You can see it there. We both have it on the table. And yeah, but in the beginning, you know, I was so happy about the opportunity to, you know, be able to design a pedal. How cool is that, you know? So I didn't expect anything from it, but it turned out to be an overwhelming success.
Yeah, I always found that interesting because I mean, by the way, this is like for people who don't know, this is it's basically a tube screamer, but it has I don't really know how to explain this. Like the sharpen knob, basically you can make your tone very glassy with a lot of attack. The heat knob is ridiculous gain. I never even go past maybe 2 o'clock. And then the bottom is outrageous, just all the low end you could ever ask for. But I really liked this because I wanted to get away from the standard green screamer, right?
Right.
And so this is a great pedal to use for that. So yeah, the Grindstein, since we're talking about it, I think that was the last video we did. It was like December 2019. So we're looking at almost a year and a half now where the Grindstein has been on the market. As far as I can tell, Carson can't even keep the damn things in stock. So, I mean, what's the overall consensus? I mean, maybe some people have found some drawbacks with it, or what? You know, what's your point of view at this point?
I mean, first of all, we have sold hundreds of Grindsteins, and we're still selling pedals every day. And most people love the concept of the pedal, like being able to do the HM2 thing, but also being able to, you know, dial in or make that tone a little more controlled. And I mean, there are always people who don't like that pedal and want something else, but I have to say the feedback is 99% really, really positive. And I'm sure I can say that because I'm also like doing the tech support sometimes. Whenever it's not too technical, like when people are not happy with the tone or need some help because things do not sound like they want them, Carsten will happily forward the emails to me.
You go.
Yeah,
so
but
let me help you out. Here you go.
But that's not really happen very often. Most of the time, it's just an easy fix because someone has misunderstood something or has a wrong setup or something. So no, the pedals are doing great, and a lot of cool musicians are playing the pedal, and yeah. I think it could become a classic one day. Let's see. We're still...
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's a fantastic piece of gear. I mean, it's awesome. I really love it for blending. I think that's where it really shines.
Yeah.
You can really blend it in there. You know, but we can't talk about the Grindstein without, I don't know, this little evil brother, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious. I've talked to Carson a little bit. You know, I sort of have a basic idea of how this came about, but I would really like... So if you were getting feedback from the Grindstein, was that basically how this happened? Or how did the Oh My Go come into the picture?
Yeah, some people were playing... The Oh My Go basically is one channel of the Grindstein. The so-called bass bottom shaker channel of the Grindstein is more or less the Oh My God. And some people got back to us saying like, hey, but that second channel that is only intended to like thicken up the HM2 part a little bit actually sounds pretty fucking cool on its own, especially if you play it into a clean channel. I think the first guy who said that was Guillermo from Entombed AD, the guitar player.
Yeah.
So he came back and played that. And I think the second guy was Mika from the Swedish band Grave, the death metal band.
Of course.
That I adore. I remember going to a Grave show when I was 15. Whatever. So those guys were also using the HM2 part, but mainly even the other channel. And that's how, you know, like maybe we can turn this into a product. And I think what really made the Oh My God become reality is that Joe from the Heavy Metal Amps and Pedals Facebook group talked to Carsten or something, and then they decided they, you know, wanted to do something together. And this, I mean, you can see it has the logo of the group is
right
on there. So that's, you know, then we finally went for it, and then we tweaked the channel a little bit so it's a little more versatile. We added the boost, we changed some of the frequencies, we added a little more gain, and, you know, some tweaks. And
yeah,
it's a very raw sounding, nasty sounding modern high gain distortion. It's fun.
It's awesome. And you even got 2 horns up from Carl Sanders, so that was pretty damn cool.
Right. Yeah.
Carl knows what he's talking about when it comes to guitar tones. So
absolutely.
That's really awesome.
Absolutely,
it's really awesome that he loved those pedals.
I mean, it's such an honor, you know, if you have people like Carl, you know, using your stuff and
absolutely,
and being inspired by the stuff that you create. So absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be great. So let's actually jump into your new YouTube career. So I mean, you started uploading on your own channel exclusively once you decided, you know, to part ways with the URM stuff. I remember that you had like 2K subs, and now you're over 20,000.
Less, much less.
Right?
I think I had 500 or something when I started.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't remember. But I mean, it was a small amount, and you've grown just exponentially, and congrats on that. That's awesome. I'm really happy for you. So how has the experience been so far being a content creator? I mean, any kind of surprises or things that like happened where you're like, oh, okay. So what's it been like to be in front of the camera more often instead of, you know, just being the mix engineer?
Well, I guess I'm getting used to it, and I'm getting better. I'm getting more organized. I can do videos faster, you know, and it has been, like you just said, all positive. Of course, if the channel is growing so fast, you know, there's nothing negative to say, really. After half a year of doing this on my own, I'm so happy. I'm so happy I finally did this, because I came from the URM channel that when I left it had something like 70,000 subs. And then you go back to a channel with 500 or something. That's not really fun. But it turned out that by giving this a fresh start, you know, pretty much a clean channel, you know, all the people that subscribed are the people who actually know why they want to see me, you know. So I think at URM there were like maybe 30,000 people who subscribed years ago and stuff like that. So now I feel the channel is really fresh. Everybody's inspired. A lot of engagement, lots of comments, you know, and everybody knows why they are following me.
Right.
So there's just a great atmosphere on that channel right now, and I hope it keeps on growing, because, you know, what's cooler than talking about nerd stuff and people are listening and watching. That's amazing.
So did you ever think that, you know, 20 years ago, I mean, first of all, like 20 years ago, I mean, there was no such thing as YouTube and being able to just quickly throw a video on the internet. That was always a process. Remember those days?
Oh.
But if even just, let's say 5 years ago, if someone told you, Kohle, you're going to have a YouTube channel, you're going to make videos, and what would your reaction have been?
Impossible. No, actually, it all started with Nail the Mix, with my aborted Nail the Mix, and that was the first time that I realized that if I speak English, you know, to a camera, if I try to teach something in English, people, you know, like this. People enjoy this. People want to see more, because, you know, I had not done this before. So I thought, like, okay, maybe I'm not too bad at explaining things and people like to see my face. That was a total surprise to me. But still, the URM guys had to push me into the YouTube thing, I remember. So I have really been carried there. But I'm very grateful it happened, because it's a lot of fun. You know, I have to say that after 20 years of mixing in the studio and recording, as cool as that is, it's something fresh. It's a new inspiration, you know, to do something else and to be in touch with people a lot more than a producer in the studio. That's awesome.
Right. Yeah, I remember that Nail the Mix session. I remember watching it, and I watched it many, many, many times. It really helped me out, you know. And
in the beginning, don't forget, it was you, Scott, you know, who introduced me to AL back then. Right, I didn't even know what URM was, and you told AL to get in touch with me to do the URM podcast.
Yeah. I think that's where it began, and then I kind of flew the flag pretty hard for you, like get him on there.
Maybe, you know, no Scott, no YouTube career for me. Who knows? Thank you.
Invoices in the mail. So. One of the cool things about doing the channel, I guess, and then being, you know, who you are and the experience that you have is that, you know, you've had an opportunity to, I mean, look at a lot of cool shit over the last half year, from speakers to amps to plugins like the Mammoth. I know you're a big fan of the Mammoth. Anything that stands out in particular that you've been able to work on?
You mean stuff that I released, or stuff that other people's plugins and IRs and or
yeah,
what?
just yeah, just anything that you've been able to play and test with that you otherwise maybe wouldn't have had the chance to without the YouTube channel.
Okay, so Mammoth is one example. They got in touch
Yeah.
with me and said like, hey, do you want to try this? And they sent me a license, and I tried it, and I was like blown away. I was like, how cool is that? I want to do a video, and that's how it works with all my videos. You know, I just do whatever the fuck I want. If I like something, I will do a video. If I don't like it,
Right.
I don't do a video. But most of the stuff people sent me was quite disappointing, especially IRs. Since I was into speakers, like people sent me a lot of IRs, and I didn't like pretty much any of them. The only exception, and that's why I'm working with them now, the only exceptions were the Bogren IRs from Jens Bogren, who is one of the greatest metal producers
Absolutely.
and mixers
Absolutely.
out there. So of course he knows what he's doing. And those were the only ones I think I ever recommended on my channel, and that was before I was working with them. So it was logical to do the next step. So now that I've just released my own IR signature pack, yeah, I wanted to do this with Bogren because I know, you know, that's a quality company, and I just felt that's the right place to do
Absolutely.
it. Have you tried the Bogren IRs? Because
Yeah, and I also have your pack too, and I will be talking about that. And I have to say, I sort of understand you here. I mean, when it comes to the amp simulator stuff, there was a time where I would get emails every day, try my pack.
yeah,
And it was just like, no thanks. You know, I'm sorry, I have 13,000 of them already, and I still use the same 5. So
exactly. There's so much bullshit out there. Maybe it's too easy to create IRs or something. People are just, you know, polluting this world with IRs, and it's both Jens Bogren's and my like philosophy to not release IR packs with thousands of IRs, you know, that nobody's ever gonna use.
Yeah.
But right from the beginning, in his pack and in my Bogren pack, we said like, hey, we will do whatever, 20, 30 IRs with a distinct character, but those are IRs that you can actually use in a real mix. You know, and if we say that, we
Yeah.
know that. I mean, still there's taste, you know, so people might like them or not, but they are actually usable. And that is a big difference compared to most of the stuff out there, which is, you know, needs a lot of tweaking to sit right in a mix.
yeah, the one thing that I really liked about your pack, you know, the straight away is that they just have creative names for. I mean, you got, you know, the rainbows and chainsaws, and you just got like, you know, penis breath and titties. You know, it's not like SM57 underscore 45 underscore
On axis,
which is
V30.
yeah. Which is what I had to sift through when I had to learn how to do these, you know, years ago.
Yeah.
And I feel like I had to teach myself how to mic virtual calves by, okay, what does all this mean? You know, like you look at it, it's like I'm looking at an Excel spreadsheet of positions and names, and now I have to try and understand what that sounds like without having heard it in real life before.
Yeah.
And so that's why I made Guitar Tone Mastery, because I was like, if I had to go through so much trouble, I'm sure other people are in the same boat.
Absolutely. I mean,
yeah.
you are like cutting the bullshit in the plugin world or in the amp simulation and IR world, because
Right.
you had to go through that pain. And for me, it was just like when I got those packs, it was so frustrating because I don't want to go through 98 shitty IRs just to find 2 IRs that are maybe usable if I EQ them. Then it is actually faster for me to just, you know, throw 2 microphones in front of a cab. You know, that takes me 2 minutes, and I know how to do it. So for this pack, my idea was to just have a vision about a certain tone, create it. Sometimes it's 5 microphones and 3 speakers. Sometimes it's only 1 speaker and 1 microphone. Who cares? Sometimes there's a little EQ on the IR, sometimes not. But it is, and then I find a catchy name that describes the character of that IR. And I think, you know, if you open that pack, it will tell you a story. Both,
Of course.
you know.
Yep. And the major thing that I personally really like, just me maybe the way my ears work, because I like a very cold, presency type of guitar tone.
I know,
so
yeah.
You know,
I know,
it's really fucking easy to do it wrong. Like, and all of your IRs, well, my experience has always been a lot of the IRs is just like, oh, it's a white noise over 5K, unusable.
Yeah.
All of the IRs that I've tried with the Bogren packs, both his and yours, it's tame. It's tame up there. So I can throw the API and I can actually do my boost that I like to do without like turning it into an ice pick into the ear.
Exactly.
So that's what I really love personally about the IR pack. And actually the other thing too is like they're all good. They're all good. And it's just what kind of sound do you want to go with that particular song? You want to do a grindcore sound? Well, there's actually just grindcore IRs that just done.
Yeah,
right.
And that's
low filter, high filter,
and that's so much.
I guess we're done.
That's so much fun about this pack. You know, the Rainbows and Chainsaws Bogren pack is that there's some good sounding IRs. Those are the Rainbow IRs. Kind of what you would expect from me or from Bogren. And then there's the Chainsaw pack, which is a bunch of character IRs and also some really weird stuff. But I feel like these days people are looking for inspiration and they're also looking for something that sounds different. And the real magic is, once again, that you can blend all those IRs. They are all in phase. So you can take like a good sounding one and just add a touch of Chainsaw or a touch of black metal or a touch of doom. So I hope that people will get inspired by this IR pack. Let's see. I think you have an affiliate link, right? Put the link under the video, please. So
I'll put it under there.
Thank you. So we everybody buy my pack. Use that link. Thank you. Post.
Skål. The real thing though is I know you're kind of on the media tour this week. You put out a guitar tone course actually with Pro Mix. Now I just actually want to ask up front. So is the guitar tone course like shows you how to make these IRs or
no? Because
I'm getting some questions from people who are in guitar tone mastery actually like, hey Scott, what's the difference between what you did here and then what Kohle is doing here? And take it away.
Yeah, I think it's very different. So your course is way more technical and also more detailed, and especially on the mixing side. My course is called. It's about creating guitar tones. So there's a lot more, let's call it theory behind it. So what I try to teach people is how to find their own unique tones. I don't want them to copy what I am doing or what somebody else is doing. So I'm trying to teach them the methods, how to get there, the right mindset. And it starts with analyzing your own taste, finding out what you actually like, which kind of tones you like and why you like them. And then in the next step, you start analyzing your own gear. I'm talking about something that I call the tone matrix in that course. So you start analyzing your own gear and start finding out, what piece of equipment sounds how and how they work together. I called it like a big puzzle, and all the pieces of equipment you own are your puzzle pieces, and there are many ways to put them together. And sounds very theoretical, but once you have understood this, you will be able to create a vision about a guitar tone, something you have in mind, and you will be able to get those tones a lot faster, and they will probably sound a lot better than what you've done before. So that's the theory part, and then I'm actually working on 3 songs in the course. And the cool thing is that those 3 songs are from 3 different metal genres. So there's one, what I call modern metal song, like contemporary mainstream high gain distortion. Then you have a vintage rock song, more 70s or a little stonerish, more fuzzy distortion. Nice. And then there's a death metal song for you. And a death metal song, that is a lot more grindy, and you need a lot of different guitar tones. You're getting all the multi-tracks, you can work with them, but the idea is that people, take some time to understand what I'm telling them about finding their own guitar tones, and then they use the multi-tracks to create something else. But they're also getting my reamp tracks, and I'm really going through all the process of dialing in those tones. And in the end, for what I'm telling them, it doesn't matter if you are, like I am, using real tube amps and if you are moving real microphones, or if you are using plugins and IRs or the virtual thing, because the mindset behind it is the same. So to sum it up, I think in my course there's a lot less technical stuff about like making notches at 4K or something, that stuff. This is rather about like getting the right tone, going into the right direction, because what I'm always saying is like, you know, if you've taken the wrong direction and you've taken the wrong guitar amp from the get-go or the wrong distortion or whatever, you know, you're not going to fix it with an EQ later. So that is the most important thing, to go into the right direction. And if you're heading to the right direction, you know, then you can take care about the details.
Right. So the way that I'm basically hearing it, it's like before you even picked up a guitar, you're sitting back and going, okay, here's what I have. How is it, what do I want to do with it actually? So it's even before like choosing gear.
Especially if you're in a situation like I am here, where you do something else every week, so you need some kind of approach. Otherwise, you just repeat yourself, you know. So I'm always thinking like, okay, I'm doing this band. What's my vision about them? How do I want them to sound? You know, whatever, direct, dry, in your face, bright, or the opposite or something. I need some kind of vision. And if you have a vision, then if you know your equipment, you have a certain roadmap, and things just get a lot easier than just trying stuff, you know, trying what may sound good. And it's the same thing, by the way. I mean, you know the situation. If you're doing paid jobs in a studio, then you also have bands telling you, hey, we want to sound like this.
Right.
And then you are in the situation to say like, okay, how am I going to do that? And the more you analyze your own gear, doesn't matter if it's plugins or amps or whatever, the better you know your gear, the faster you will be able to, you know, get close to that tone. If they tell you, hey, we want something that sounds like this and that, you think, okay, if I combine, you know, you've got something to try.
Right. The other thing too, guys who are all in guitar tone mastering, who may be just thinking about it, is I can't really deny the 20 plus years of real world experience that Kohle has working with black metal, death metal. You even did, I don't remember, it's not an a cappella band, but it was like that choral band that did metal songs.
Yeah.
From so
Fan Canto, yeah, right.
yeah. So he's all these different situations that he's been put in to be like, okay, I have a Mesa and a Mesa. How am I going to do this or whatever, you know? So I've seen it, and I really like that he talks about the concepts, kind of like how I did in Guitar Tone Mastery, but like on a very technical scale. He's going, all right, we have this big project, and we need to, you know, start painting the brush strokes to where we want to go.
Yeah.
And so I really liked, and that's how you did it with the mix. I remember when you did your mix, you're like, I always start with a vision. You talked about, I remember you talked about the guitar tones there, and I really like that you're also helping people understand that before they even get started, you already have to go in with, it doesn't have to be a good plan, just some kind of plan.
Exactly. And even a lot, it's not a problem if you realize along the way, hey, if we go here, it's even better. You know, that's not a problem. Nothing is carved in stone, but some kind of roadmap, at least in my experience, has always been better than just, you know, coming in here on a Monday saying like, okay, death metal mix, yeah, let's try something, or let's use let's do what I did last week that worked or something. I mean, you will get, or these are the situations. If you do that, after 2 years, nobody will book you anymore, you know, because it has become boring and everything sounds the same. So creating a vision makes you stay interesting in a way. But talking about your course, actually people should check out my course and then they should watch your course again. That's what
I was going to say that. I was just putting it in my mind like yours would legitimately be step one, because you're creating, well, the performance and the overall sound. And then step two would be the technical aspect of it. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I hope that answers all. I got a bunch of questions about that. I'm sorry. It's but I thought it would just be better if you answered, because you're the guy. So you're the master.
All good.
So if it's not a secret, there have been some videos lately where you've been chatting with Warren about something called an academy. Can you?
Yeah.
Let's give us some. Can you give us some info on that?
We have the plan to do a little metal academy together, like my little academy called the Kohle Audio Kult. And
Perfectly named.
Yeah, and I have some ideas how I want to do this. Of course, based on the principles that I teach. So it's gonna be different compared to what's on the market right now. The only problem is that I really haven't found the time to do a lot for it. The only thing I've done so far is some theory work, and I think I've filmed two courses for the academy. They were both about drums. But the plan is to come up with an academy, same principle, like produce like a pro, create a cool just bring some cool people together into a nice community, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, and to try to make things a little different, just like I do it on my YouTube channel. I think the basic thing that I'm trying to teach is don't try to be like me. You know, I suck. No, don't try to be like me. And I've also wasted too much time when I was young trying to be like somebody else. Try to find your own niche, try to find your own tone. That's what I want to support, and that's what I want to inspire people to do. Hence the guitar course we talked about. I really want people to think about what they want and not what I think is right. And that's what I see on a lot of the academies, is that they actually tell people how it works. And for me, there is no, it works like this. There's always another way. And,
Really have to be honest. Your Nail the Mix session was the last one that I watched. I canceled my subscription after that because what you just said just now, it clicked in my head. It clicked in my head. It's like, it's all concepts. As long as I understand the concept, it's up to me to then figure out what I like to hear, what interests me, how I prefer my mix balance to be. And I was way happier, and I also progressed way faster when I just was like, well, hey, I do kind of like a loud snare. Suck my balls. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's the way that I like it.
Wonderful. Yeah. Exactly.
And when finding these things out about myself really just helped me get more comfortable in my own skin as well.
Yeah. Because, more confident. Stop. I remember those days, like when people tell you like, you're not hearing the difference between this equipment and that, and then you feel bad about that. What? You're not using whatever analog summing. Oh, you're not doing this. You're not using real amps. I can't be good. Fuck that shit. It's just like, especially these days, metal has become so generic sounding. So it's more about being unique. It's more about being original, about having, some cool ideas than about just being good or nice or something. That's boring. So,
you do it the right way, because the way that you present the material, I'm not the only one, and I'm glad other people, and I'm glad you're getting the attention and the credit you deserve. Honestly,
thank you.
Because the way that you're able to explain things, where I'm going to keep referencing the Nail the Mix thing, because it's just like, here's what I do and here's why. And I remember just sitting there going, you used one EQ on the overheads. But I mean, you explain like, well, that's just because I have my room dialed in. I know exactly what I'm doing, my microphones, but just the idea, because previously to that, you got to remember, okay, here are our overheads. We're going to do EQ, first stage of compression, and then we're going to do some saturation, second stage of compression. And I'm just sitting there going, why? And then you're just like, I don't even do anything in my overheads, just do a filter out, about 80, so it looks good. And then a little bit at 500, and we're done. So let's go to that was the overheads. Let's go to the rooms now.
Life can be easy, you know.
And I'm just like, damn. And that's also what really helped me, because you just was like telling people like, it's not complicated. I mean, it really doesn't have to be.
No.
So I'm really looking forward to the academy, because I think what's going to happen is you're really going to be able to just take what you did like with that particular situation and just go and I can only imagine how many projects that you've worked on might make its way in there for multi-tracks or so on and so forth. I'm waiting, so hurry up with that, please.
Thank you very much.
That's going to be great. So I think with that, the last thing I really would like to ask you is, how do you see yourself moving forward? I mean, we talked a little bit off camera about, we joked about like how much fucking work it is to make a course.
Oh my God.
The filming, the editing, the planning, and
how could you do 11 hours? That's fucking insane, man.
it was arduous. Actually, my wife and daughter took a 2-week vacation to the sea, and I was just here every day, sun up, sun down, sun up, sun down, and that's the only way I got it done.
Wow.
But I mean, like, because you can't do that and then be a full-time mixer. So are you looking to get more on the educational side of things, or you want to, like, hey, I've had my 20 years, I'm clocking out, or how do you want to move forward? What are your ideas?
I want to do more education. I want to do more products. That's what I'm already doing, because that's inspiring me right now. I don't know what I might be doing in 5 years, but that is the direction right now. If I start the academy, that also means I have to constantly put some work into it, of course. But I mean, I see myself still as a musician and as a music producer, so I would never stop doing real productions, because that is where the skills come from, where the real inspiration comes from, like working on real projects. I mean, making a YouTube video and whatever, coming up with a few riffs, that's one thing to show something, but actually working on a project with real musicians that all have a taste and an opinion, with a record label and all the bullshit around it, is something different. But I think I will never stop doing that.
I get it. I would just assume that you'd probably die. I guess you could be more selective of what you want to do then,
yeah,
right? Just be like, no, yes, no, yes, no. That's cool.
Yeah, or maybe I can, I thought about maybe also, selective is the right word. Like maybe picking out even some bands that I wouldn't have worked with before. I mean, some smaller bands that are just making interesting music, and mixing them for free or something. That is something I have in mind. Just
That's cool.
do inspiring stuff. But I don't know.
That's awesome.
Maybe people don't want to see my face on YouTube anymore in 2 years, or we'll see.
I doubt it. I highly doubt it, because that was in 2017 when your educational career began, if you can believe it. Was it 2017 or was it
2018? I think, or.
It was January. I just remember.
Yeah, it was January, right? No, 8. Or no, not 19. Huh? No, I don't even remember.
I'm pretty sure it was 17.
No, it was 3 years ago, so it was 18. We will look it up. We will look it up. I owe you a beer or a 6-pack if I'm wrong, but I think it's 18.
Well, that's awesome. So, and then you've only grown from there, and I really like to see you doing better, and just honestly, from myself and everyone, we're happy for you.
And I will always come back to this place, because it's always a real pleasure being in Chernobyl again.
Yay!
Yeah. It's like, yes, we should talk more often, right? I think.
That would be great.
Even without the public, But but people should know that Scott and me have always been in touch over the last 3 or 4 years or something. So I have helped you on a few things, right? And sometimes you send me stuff that so I can have a listen. And you have helped me.
Tell
you
me
have
how bad it sucks.
Connected me with people and stuff, and we're having a lot of fun together.
Yeah, it's good. It's a great honor, because I'm very lucky. I've been able to talk to you, my favorite mixer. Turned out to be a cool guy. Been able to talk to Carl, my favorite guitar player. Turned out to be a cool guy.
Absolutely.
Talked to Nick Barker, favorite drummer, cool guy. So I'm pretty lucky, because I know there are some horror stories of people meeting their
heroes.
And then they're just total douches.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if blessed is the right word, but I'm pretty damn happy.
Yeah, you admire the right people. I mean,
I guess
it's me excluded, of course. Yeah, no, but
right, I know.
I'm a fucking asshole. But but Carl is great, and who was the other? And Nick, of course. Yeah.
Nick Barker. Fuck, you can't. And obviously, I was like, what am I going to wear today? And I'm like, I got to rep our boys. So shout out to Cytotoxin. You guys are awesome. And
very nice guys as well. You have to, hopefully you'll meet them. I mean, the chances are not too bad that they one day play Ukraine. I mean, being a Chernobyl themed band.
They're right there, by the way. I don't know if it's not that far away from good old Germany, but yeah, it's going to be good stuff. So that's all I got, man. So how about you just let us know where we can find you, where we should subscribe, what we should do, what P.O. box we can mail our pennies to, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, if you're interested in either getting my guitar tone course or getting the IRs that I just have released, Scott will put some links in the description, and maybe also a link to my YouTube channel where I do some videos every now and then. I try to do a video every week, but I'm too busy to do that. But yeah, who cares? It's a fun place. Come to my YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So you're getting better at this. I almost believed that smile. Almost believed it. Dude, it's always a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
It's always a good honor to talk to you. Thanks for stopping by. We will talk to you later. So guys, end of the video. Please check the links. All the stuff is below. Yes, they are affiliate links. Yes, I do get a little bit of it, but hey, you need this because he's the man. This guy right here, drinking the beer. He's the man. We'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.